got a strawberry side on the side next to you. No wasting time, can you tell me the truth? I'm feeling you, yeah, I'm feeling you. Oh, oh, be honest, tell me what's on your mind. Oh, baby, when I lay my eyes on you.
Mind the gap when leaving the train.
Hi friends, welcome to London. If you're new here, my name is Charlie, and I'm an aspiring author currently working on a sci-fi romance novel that I'm calling Project Daydream. It's got futuristic, dystopian, and enemies to lovers vibes. If that's something that floats your boat, then stick around and watch the rest of the video. So as you can see, my background is a little bit different, and that is because I am in the UK at the moment. It is my first time here, but I thought that while I was here in the great city of London that I would possibly go around to some libraries and some cafes and get a little bit of writing in if at all possible. I was able to do a little bit of writing on the plane, and I feel like I got a good amount done. I can't remember exactly how much I wrote, but I have a free day today, so I thought I'd maybe stop around to some libraries and get a little bit of writing done, maybe stop in to some cafes or something and just walk around the city and take you guys with me while I do that. I kind of feel like the city is perfect because it's got a mix of old and new, and excuse me, and that kind of fits with the vibe of my story pretty well because it's set in the distant future. It's got like a mix of old and new architecture, so it's a very inspiring place. I've already been into the city just a few days ago. So why I'm here, so I'm here in the beautiful UK to really just visit some friends, but also I needed to get away from reality for a little bit. As you know, things haven't been the easiest for me in the last year, and so I wanted to take a moment to kind of just like recharge and get back to myself, kind of take a little bit of a vacation. I'm only here for a week and a half, so not too long. I feel like just long enough to kind of give myself a break. But I do have some friends who live out here, and I am staying with one of my friends at the moment. And so, and it has been nice to kind of catch up with some people that I haven't seen in a really long time. But also, I kind of felt like this would be the perfect opportunity for me to go, visit some old libraries, maybe some cafes, and just kind of get to know the city of London a little bit better and maybe gather some inspiration for my draft. Although my story is technically set in New York City, I'm really just looking for vibes here, which I seem to have gotten quite a bit of. I discovered after my last writing session, like just before I left for the UK, that I actually needed to draw out the beginning of my story a little bit more because I realized that I started writing at the inciting incident, not at the beginning of the story. So I need to backtrack a little bit this week, go and write the beginning again and get my characters kind of up to speed to where things are right now. If you were to pick up the story where it's at, everything would kind of make sense, but there's a lot of missing backstory. And I feel like I kind of do that on purpose because I'm scared of putting too much backstory in and then having it like drone on and be more like info dumpy, which is something that we all don't want. So I think I'm going to probably write a couple of chapters at the beginning. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done this week because I am visiting friends and I only have so much time here, but I felt like this would be kind of cool to make a little vlog out of my experience here and kind of take you guys along with me for that. That's about all I have for you guys right now. Why don't we go into the city and get some writing done? I'll see you guys in London.
The next stop will be London Euston.
It's hard to stay real in a world full of fakes. It's hard to find truth when the liars are great. I'm trying my best to stay out of your way. Oh well, oh well. You talk a big talk, but got nothing to say. You hold your head high, but your morals to fade. I know you feel cool, but your bubble will break. Oh well, oh well. You
Okay guys, it's a few days later. I got a little busy walking around the city and just kind of like taking in the sights and everything, and gosh, you guys, London is a beautiful city and I am so blessed to be here. But I wanted to talk to you guys and kind of catch you guys up about where I'm at in my manuscript, because I did, as you saw, go out and write at a cafe and at the British Library, and I had a very productive writing session, and I thought that it would be perfect to kind of talk a little bit about how I'm setting up the novel. So I'm currently working on this chapter here where Kai, my male MC, is just on the outskirts of the city. Basically the outside of the city is like in ruins, and it's like overgrown with foliage. I kind of got a lot of inspiration. If you guys have ever seen the series The Last of Us, I've got a lot of inspiration as far as like what the outskirts of the city are gonna look like from that series and that video game. And so it's like toppled over buildings, broken buildings, like flooded streets in some areas. It's definitely like broken down and kind of like overgrown. And Kai is just out there right now searching for some technology that the government has commissioned him to find so that they can refurbish it and use it in the technology that they have in this like futuristic world that I'm building. In my futuristic world, this part of the United States is sort of separated from the rest of the United States, so it's like kind of closed off. The citizens of New York City don't have access to the rest of the states, and so they don't really know what's beyond the Hudson River. Essentially, like everything beyond that body of water is off limits to them. They're kind of like squeezed into a few blocks of the city, which makes things hard for several reasons. Mostly because there is a scarcity of resources in this future, particularly organic resources. And so there's a lot of different kind of conflicts that my characters are fighting against. And it's not just the main plot or the main conflict in the story, but it's other environmental factors too, like climate and natural disasters, as well as like the government controlling everything. This is a dystopian. The government's kind of like taking control and basically forcing its citizens into things without their knowledge. I'm really just setting up the novel as far as like what it looks like and where they're at, and some elements of the government's control are kind of sprinkled in throughout this chapter, or will be sprinkled in throughout these chapters. I don't want to put too much in because obviously we don't like info dumpy stuff. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible, but it can be really hard, and I know that if I do something like that, then I can always go back and revise it later when I'm doing the second draft. But right now I'm trying to put a little bit of these world building aspects in these first few chapters so that it lines up with what the reader will know starting at the inciting incident where I actually started writing this book. So Kai's chapters are really going to be focusing on like the world building aspects where the government is concerned, and also technology. And then I'm also going to do another chapter with Alyssa, and her build up chapters are really going to be focusing around the emotional elements and like the climate, and also the history of like the pandemics and everything that are affecting this world. So she's going to have more introspective chapters, which makes sense since she's being written first person, and Kai is kind of focusing on the external things that are affecting the world, which also makes sense because he's being written in third person. I feel like that's kind of the more natural way to do it. I want these first few chapters to be like really gripping and really interesting for the reader, not only for publishing, but also like I just want someone to be able to read the book from start to finish and be like, wow, that was a good book, right? I think we all kind of want that if we're writing our books to be put in front of others. Like we want them to enjoy it, obviously. Like I do want my book to be good. And so I am struggling a little bit because I'm kind of worried that, you know, by the end of it, the first few chapters are going to be like, meh, and the rest of the book is going to be good, or none of it is going to be good. It's always a possibility. And obviously this is the first draft, so I'm trying not to worry too much about that because there's so much editing to be done and there's so much time to change anything that needs to be changed. So I'm trying not to think about it too much, but it is starting to get to me a little bit. I'm just trying to take it one day at a time, and I think that's the most important thing, and the best way to go about a project like this is just one day at a time, one page at a time, one word at a time, and then eventually we'll have a full-fledged book. So let's talk about London for just a second, because I did find it like pretty interesting, the differences between writing in the United States and writing in a big city like London, and a totally different country. It's a totally different vibe. And oh my gosh, there is a bee in here. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a bee in here, you guys. I'm scared. It's just like hanging out. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the bee has been safely evacuated from the building. Sorry about the lighting, you guys, in advance. The sun is setting and it sets right into the room that I'm staying at. So it's kind of like right in my eyes at the moment. Just sit back as much as possible. Anyways, I was talking about the differences between writing in the UK and writing in the States. I mean, like overall, it's really not that much different. It's just the environments that I'm working in that are a little different. For example, cafes. Every cafe that I've been inside in the UK so far is really, really small. It is hard to find seating. I was able to find seating at this one cafe that I went to. It's called Caravan Cafe. Super cute. The coffee is great. And I was able to focus really well in there, but it was busy. And it was on a busy street. On the other hand, the British Library. The British Library is gigantic. I think that there's like 4 or 5 floors. I'm not really sure because anyone who doesn't hold a membership to the British Library are not able to access any floor above floor 3, I think. I think it was 2 or 3. I can't remember. So I could only access like the main level and the second level. And so that was kind of hard because there weren't a lot of seats available. It's a very busy library and 100% beautiful. It's actually really cool. They have this entire column from like the top floor down to the bottom level where it's just ancient, old, dusty books. And I think it was the King's Collection, if I'm not mistaken. It was a really cool place to work. I sat right in front of the column. It was a really inspiring vibe. And I do apologize for like the lack of footage that I didn't get because it was pretty difficult to film in those areas. It was just so busy and I didn't want to like be in anybody's way basically. So I didn't really have a good opportunity to film. So for the next part of Charlie Writes in the UK, I am going to be writing, I think, from this little pub that I'm staying at. By the way, I don't think I told you guys like where I'm staying. I'm staying in this little pub outside of the city in this like little township called Hemel Hempstead. The pub that I'm staying at is called the Three Horseshoes. This pub is 489 years old. And yes, there are rooms above the pub. I'm staying in one of the rooms, which is pretty cool. It's situated right next to a canal and it's just kind of gorgeous, to be honest with you. And I just feel really blessed to be here and thankful that my friend was able to like accommodate me. I am going to be working on finishing up Kai's chapter. I still have a little bit left to do for him. And then I'm going to start working on Alyssa's point of view chapters for like this beginning part. Not 100% sure how much of that I'll be able to get done before the end of the vlog, but I'm hoping that I can at least complete Kai's chapter and maybe get like halfway through Alyssa's perspective. I only have a couple of more days here. And I'm trying not to spend the whole time writing. I'm trying to like, you know, be social and see the city since I've never been to the UK before. So it's not like a huge priority for me. If I can't get to it, then I can't get to it. But I would really like to do a little, maybe like 1 or 2 more writing sessions before the end of my time here. I'm like getting way off track for what I wanted to talk about. I'm really happy with the amount of work that I've been able to get done while I've been here already so far. So if I'm not able to write anymore the whole time, then that's okay. Because I really only have 3 more full days here because I leave Wednesday early. And one of those days I know is going to be meeting with my friend Sophie. And then on Tuesday, I have to move locations because the place I'm staying at is too far away from the airport for me to get to in time for my flight on Wednesday. I'm going to do my best to get at least another 2 writing sessions in, another 2 days, hopefully tonight and definitely tomorrow. And then we can kind of talk a little bit about where I'm at in the manuscript, how this, just my overall thoughts about the process. And I don't know if any of this makes sense. I feel like I'm talking in circles. I'm really tired. I've been walking around all day. And I just like, I need some food, I think, because I am hungry as well. But basically what I'm trying to say is after my next 2 writing sessions, I'm going to kind of connect with you guys to wrap up. If you're still watching this, drop a UK flag in the comments and tell me if you guys have ever, you know, like taken a writing retreat somewhere or just like a trip somewhere that really inspired you. Tell me about that. I will see you guys in a little bit with another update.
I see the bombs falling down, not to mention the fire. There's a lion in my bed, slowly moving
Good morning, guys. It has been several weeks since I filmed anything. I actually got back from the UK 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was just being really lazy and recovering from jet lag, but I am here now and I apologize that this video is so late. I was really excited about this project, and so I wanted to come back today and kind of finish it out before I started on my next vlog. So back when I actually did the filming and initial setup for this vlog, I did write some notes down, so I'm just gonna kind of go through those really quickly and kind of tell you guys what my thoughts were during that time and kind of where I'm at now. I was working on those first few chapters and I was worrying a little bit about whether or not my beginning chapters were going to line up to the inciting incident and whether or not it was going to be really choppy or not, like the transition from those beginning chapters to the inciting incident. I'm also really just trying not to compare my first draft to someone's published work. That's a trap that I fall into a lot, just comparing myself to other people. And I think what it comes down to is the only person you should be comparing yourself to is who you were yesterday and just trying to be better than you were the day before. I think that comparing yourself to other people is just really unfair for several reasons, but most of all, they're going somewhere completely different than you are. They have had a life that you have not had and experiences that you have not had. We all start at different starting points, and I think that it's really important to remember that. I think it's also really important to remember to be kind to ourselves and to just remind yourself regularly that everybody is on their own different journey and path, and that's okay, and where you're at right now is perfect and it's where you're supposed to be. So actually in the last session that I had in the UK, I was able to start working on Kai's chapter. There are some things that he's going to be doing that are going to pop up later in the book, and I don't want to give away too many details, so I'm trying to figure out how to like subtly put in information without giving the whole plot away. So I left some of his scenes unfinished and started working on Alyssa's point of view chapters. So in Alyssa's point of view chapters, it's really more just about highlighting her relationship with her sister. Alyssa and her sister are very close. They have a very tight-knit family. I'm just trying to build that connection for the audience in these first few chapters. It opens into this cute little scene where they're gonna have some dinner and she's just kind of entering into her sister's apartment and she's seeing all the photos on the wall. She's kind of just reminiscing about her family and her past and stuff, and her sister walks in and they have a conversation about like how things used to be and everything like that, and it's just a lot of relationship building between her and her sister. They're joking around, it's kind of fun, and so I'm really enjoying writing this scene specifically. Other projects that I have written, there's almost always a sibling relationship. Fun fact, I actually have 3 brothers. I have an older brother and 2 younger brothers. I do not have any sisters though, so I am the only girl. And I think that that's why I tend to gravitate towards writing characters who have siblings, like particularly female characters with female siblings. I kind of like to maybe live a little bit vicariously through them in that way. I had always wanted a sister. It was something that I like begged my mom for. Like she had any control over that, but I really, really wanted a sister. But now I can give my characters sisters, which is pretty fun. Do you guys do anything like that in your writing? Like if you're a girl who only has sisters, do you sometimes write your sisters with a brother? I feel like I kind of like to mirror the relationships between the siblings to like what I experience with my siblings. For example, I'm really close with my younger brothers, and so when I have a character who has a younger brother, I tend to make them really close and have similar relationships to the relationship that I had with my brothers. Let me know what that looks like for you guys. I'm really interested to see if that's something that like kind of is across the board for writers or not. Anyway, so I have actually done a few writing sessions since I got back from the UK, but I haven't been able to do a whole lot of writing, and that is actually because I had a friend visiting from out of state, and so I kind of had to put that on the back burner a little bit because I wanted to spend time with them. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of writing, and obviously, as you know, I haven't been doing a whole lot of filming, and I am so excited to get started on my next vlog and to really hone in on my writing this month. I've got a lot of really big goals and some fun things planned, which you will have to wait to see until next week's vlog. If you liked today's video, please give me a like comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. It motivates me to keep making more videos, and I just love seeing my community grow. So I would really appreciate if you would just hit that subscribe button really fast for me. That is all I have for you. As always, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.